Hi Aries, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this, my darlings, is your weekly pulse for the 24th to the 30th of March. This is Tiny Dog, as you know. Okay, my darlings, this reading is a weekly spread for you, my loves, and we're going to look at really just how best to navigate the energies that are going to be coming toward you this week. A lot of us are on lockdown or are staying at home and isolated. So I want us to I'm trying to do my bit, okay, to give us a dose of positive realism. Okay, my darlings, you're going to get 6 cards in this reading today. We're going to start with your motivating factors, so what's moving you, what's motivating you this week. We're going to look at your experiences this week, so what kind of things you're going to be encountering and facing, your soul or karmic message, so your understanding for this week. And then in the second row, we're going to look at 3 more things. We're going to look at love, okay? So for those people that are in separation, who's thinking about you, what they're thinking, but just love, potential, or lesson for this week. Then we're going to look at your challenge for this week. And then finally, we're going to look at your gain. And for that, I talk about, I want that to be what we consider in meditation or in our mindful moments this week, okay? So it's about making some quiet time each day to connect with yourself, maybe even just for a few minutes, five minutes or so. And really just to reflect, to consider and think over how this message, the 6th message, the final message, can help to bring you peace and reassurance this week. Okay, my darlings, without further ado, I've already shuffled, of course, I've already meditated. So let's get started. There we go. Now, I'm going to put this one here because these 2 cards are actually connected here, okay? Even though we've got love here and we've got challenge here, so that'll be interesting to see how those 2 connect as we look at the reading. Quite at the base of our reading is the 5 of Swords. You know, this really is the perspective we need to see this through. And when I talk about sword energy, we always know that sword energy is about our thoughts, mind, clarity, consciousness, our communication, our ability to be clear, our ability to speak clearly, our ability to think clearly as well. And with number 5s are the number of change, my darlings. And so this is about potentially there being an aspect, a way that you're thinking that needs to shift in some way. So your perception about something needs to shift, and it might be that, you know, it starts to sink in this week. You know, it's the first week in the UK that we're on lockdown, and I know that in America and in the US and in Europe as well, you know, some of us have been in that time for about a few days or a week or so, and it really is starting to hit home now, the impact of everything on us. So this is just to keep in mind, really, the card at the base of the reading. Just keep in mind that really your perspective is shifting and needs to shift at some point. So let's look at the first 3 cards. We've got our 5 of Wands, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, and we've got the King of Pentacles. So remember, the card here is the motivating factor. So what's moving you, what's motivating you this week? And it's lovely that it's key energy. This is your key, your chi, your life force is represented by the wand energy. That's actually literally what moves us. And this is for you guys, the number 5 of Wands. Again, number 5, so it's about change. So this is about that feeling within, responding within to the changes externally that we are seeing. That's what this card really represents. It can suggest, I forgot to say happy birthday Aries. It can suggest an element of conflict, but ultimately it's a conflict of inner conflict. It's a sense that you are changing your ideas, your thought, your perspective, what you expected, for example, how you're handling it, for example, how you think you're handling it, for example. That perception is changing this week. And so because these things are going on within you, the questions or the realizations are going on within you, that can it starts within and it works its way out of your system. So what it's saying this week is that you need to be mindful that you are that your perception, your idea, how you think and perceive your situation is changing, and also how you're feeling and how you're responding intuitively is changing. You know, for me, this would represent personally hidden anxiety. So for me, all I've done for the last 2 weeks is watch news. I was absolutely petrified, and I didn't realize that I was petrified. I didn't realize that I was so afraid. And it was only when I started doing some meditation, some conscious meditation, and you can find examples of conscious meditation in the Key Wisdom playlist. It was when I started to consciously reflect on what am I actually doing now? What is my behavior? And then it was about understanding why I'm behaving this way. And I realized that it's because, you know, I am fearful. So for me, this would be those hidden anxieties, but you at least starting to realize and recognize those hidden anxieties. And we have next here in the second position, this is your experience this week. So what you're encountering this week. And this is, for a lot of people, this is real world juggling. There's a lot of, we're trying to make space for things. We're trying to manage. Some of us are at home. We're working from home. We've got to look after children. We maybe have to, you know, reach out to loved ones and support them and neighbours and other people in our community. So we're trying to juggle a lot. That's what he thinks. Tiny's chilled. He don't know what corona is. You know, it's a lot that we're juggling. If you think about it, Pentacles energy is all about where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest security. And twos are about our commitment. So it's about trying to commit to things, trying to put our energy into things to create that security and to create that stability. That's what you're going to be doing in your life this week. And to be fair, you could say, well, that's not very, you know, instinctive, you know, of course that's what we're doing, and of course that is what we're doing. So this is really just emphasizing that this is going to be something that physically you feel, as I said, you see in your life, that the things that you're doing, that the extra workload or the extra responsibilities that you're juggling, that's what this card represents. Okay, and but this is the understanding. Okay, so think about it. In the third position here, we have our soul message or our karmic message and the understanding. This spread, by the way, is based on the Tree of Life. So I'll you can read the description below of why the cards in each position have the meanings that they do and why I created this spread. Okay, but in this position, this is what's really lovely, that this is the karmic message or the soul message. So what's going on for you this week? This is what's going on, these changes in perception. You're juggling, you've got a lot of responsibility, you're trying to do a lot, but this is the message of it. This is the karmic, the soul message. This is about establishing security ultimately. This is about, again, remember, Pentacles energy, putting energy and effort in to manifest, to create security, to create stability. Masculine energy is the actions that you're taking. It's the things that we're doing externally, which means that there's obviously, again, it's quite obvious, there's a shift, there's a change for us all. All the kings, queens, knights, etc., they all represent change as well. What it shows is that that you are facing, Aries, and again, you might say, Ruth, this is really obvious, but what it shows is that you're facing this week, excuse me, you're facing this week these changes that are things that are ways that you're changing in order to manifest security in a different way. But what it gives you is a sense of stability, ultimately. So even though we might feel at the beginning of the week or as we move through the week that I've got loads of things to do and it's quite hard and I'm stressful and it's stressful and I'm afraid or I'm anxious maybe, what ultimately this is actually giving you, it's showing you that you're able to do this. You're able to be strong. You're able to provide that security, regardless of what's going on around us, outside our homes and on the news, whatever else is going on around you, within your space, within your world, within your house, within your home, within your family, within your workspace, this is showing you, this week is showing you that you don't only have the skills and the capabilities to provide that security, but you're able to do it now. This is what it's showing you. So it's kind of a lesson in, you know, I always say that the universe gives you what you can handle, even if you don't realize you can handle it. And this is you understanding by the end of this week, understanding by the end of this month, that you you know what, I am able to provide that security regardless of what else is going on externally. I am able to do that, and that's a really beautiful uplifting message of the King of Pentacles in that position. So now look, okay, so we're moving on to the last three cards here for your spread. So we've got, this is your love lesson or love potential for this week, and next we have power, which is the challenge, really, the challenge or the changes that we're facing, and then finally the gain. So this is our mindful moments, or what we need to be considerate of in our mindful moments when we are beautiful, when we are connecting with ourselves, when we're having that, when we're making that 5-minute space in our day to sort of just to connect with ourselves in the morning or in the evening, just whenever. This is the message that we get, and that is for you guys, the Knight of Cups. And what a beautiful message, all about our emotions and all about engaging with our emotional and intuitive world. So first of all, we'll come to love lesson, love potential for this week. So first of all, if this is you're in separation from somebody, if you're in separation from somebody because you're isolated, obviously, and you can't be together, the person that you're thinking of, and the person that's thinking of you, I should say, could be, some of us are. Look at that, I love that when that happens. I mean, look, we've got the Hermit there, so we are in isolation, we know that. I'm not saying anything you don't know. But this, it could be for you guys, Aries, an earth sign. Okay, I'm going to say that. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, doesn't have to be. This is really, it's, as I said, it's again Pentacles energy, so it's, we're really focusing, all of us, this week about ensuring our security, and even when it comes to love. So this can, because it's linked to Virgo's energy, and it's linked, which is number 9, the Hermit in this energy. This is about the diligence and the focus and the that we must put in isolation, the things that we must shore ourselves up, when we must feel when we must shore ourselves up, when we must feel confident, when we must feel good about ourselves. We have to find ways, we have to look at ways, we have to look and point out our life and say, do you know what, everything's okay, everything's going to be secure, these are the things that I've built. That's what we see here with the Nine of Pentacles. It does, obviously, because it's linked to Hermit and it's number 9, yes, it does suggest a period of isolation, but we know that that's what we're going through anyway. But ultimately, what this is saying for love potential or for love lesson, this is about self-love. It's about self-love, self-care, self-security. That this is the way, this is the thing that's going to get you as an individual through and get us all through. I say on my Instagram, I'll show you my Instagram at the end so you can see it and you can follow me if you don't already. I've said on my Instagram, I totally forgot what I was going to say then. Oh, that's it. You can't save the world by trying to save the world. And that may sound selfish or whatever, but it's based on obviously the principles of mindfulness. And what it really means by that is, it's similar to saying charity begins at home. What it really means by that is your strength, your life is built on your back. You are the sort of the foundations of everything in your life, of the job that you do, of the family that you have, of the home that you live in. You're the foundation of it. So you have got to make sure that is solid and secure. And for your love potential and for love lesson this week, it's saying that it's really about that. It's about that self-love, because that's what's going to provide us all, your relationships, with security as we move forward through this difficult period. Okay, this is the power or the challenge. So the power is on the Tree of Life. It's number 5. This is based on the Tree of Life. This spread the first 6 emanations of the Tree of Life. On the Tree of Life, number 5 is power, and power is about that transference, isn't it? It's about the transference, the movement, the energy, the shifts that can be engaged in. And again, when we're talking about challenge, we know that this is, for some of you, I said that these two are linked, so for right at the beginning, and I'm glad I put that there now. So for some of you, this is very clear that you're separated from people that you love. You feel obvious. Ruth, obviously, this is what's going on, but this is what's being also reflected in the card, that the challenge for us is being maybe separated from our family unit. Number 4 in the astrological chart is rules our family, our structures, the things, the things in our life that we build on, if you will, that we try to create and sustain and uphold. Hello, Tiny. And obviously it's the year 2020, and that's being challenged this year and ultimately this month. And now look, we have this here, the same for you. Tiny's coming to say hello. Hello, Tiny. Come on. Oh, is it you? You were a bit. Did you not like being left out? Right, we've got about 60 seconds tiny because I want this video to 15 minutes, so let's get on with it. So we have the challenge, obviously, as we know. As I said, it's not rocket science, really. We know that the challenge is about that security and that stability. For some of you as well, because these two are linked, it suggests that there's some of you are really feeling that separation, obviously, with people that we love, but definitely also a loved one, a specific person, a romantic partner that you, or someone that you were, recently dating or started, engaging with, if you will. There's definitely a separation that's felt. That's a challenge for you, but ultimately, as we said, what we know is that you need to make sure that you're responding and engaging with how you're responding to what you're currently going through, and so does every other individual on the planet, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not, regardless of whether you're poorly or not. We all have to get to that space, because that's how we can best help each other, and that's how we can best ensure the security of our families, our relationships, etc., as we move forward. So that's just the challenge this week, but as I said, it's quite obvious, as we know. Let's look now finally at your gain. So this is what you can gain from this week. This is what you can consider this week in your moments of meditation, in your moments of mindfulness, when you're trying to reflect, when you're trying to just sort of get some peace and feel motivated and reassured this week. This is what we are seeing. This is the energy that you need to concentrate on, and this is the energy of the Knight of Cups. Remember, all the Knights, pages, all that stuff, they're all related to change anyway. This is masculine energy, so it's about the actions that we take, and it's about love. It's about our emotional self, our intuitive self, and this is about acting on our emotions. That means we might be openly speaking about them. That means that you might be allowing yourself to feel them, allowing yourself to really fully feel the impact of what you're going through. That's okay, because this is an energy that is supportive in a way. It's something that we mature into. So that means that it might have been difficult for you to confront how you were feeling last week, to really think about it, to really engage with, allow yourself to feel the emotional impact of things. What this is saying is that you're maturing. So you get into that stage now where you're like, do you know what? As I said, in those mindful moments, in your moments of meditation this week, try to connect with your emotional self. Make some time. This is active energy, so this is masculine energy, so this is action. So this is, make some time to engage with your emotions, to tell people how you feel, to engage with yourself how you feel. Try some conscious meditation. As I said, there's examples in the Key Wisdom playlist, and this is where really your focus should be. And this should give you some reassurance. Remember, it's not magic, it's mindfulness, how we manifest, how we grow, how we heal. It's all about our awareness, and it's all about our engaging with our reality and what we're experiencing. Do that in a way, as I said, mindfully, or in meditation, in a peaceful way. 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. Write yourself some mantras. There's some, again, you can check those out in my Key Wisdom playlist. Write yourself some mantras, or use the mantras that I give in that example, and really just connect with what you're feeling and what you're going through. Okay, my darling Aries, I hope you loved that reading. As I said, I'm going to be back next week with your next weekly pulse. We're all here for each other. Spend some time in the comments, speak to each other, and we can be there for each other. We can be there to support each other. Okay, my darlings, have a wonderful week. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again next week with your brand new reading. Don't forget to check out the Key Wisdom playlist for everything mindfulness, meditation, Reiki, and tarot. And this, my darlings, is my Instagram. So you can go on my Instagram. You can, get extra little snippets all about astrology and poetry, all sorts of stuff. So just check that out as well, if you like to keep updated with what's going on in our lives. Okay, my darlings, have a wonderful week. I'll see you all again next week with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye, and happy birthday, Aries.